Hopefully it'll work. There we go. Hi. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys are here. Hi. Hi, everyone. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. I feel really sad and helpless. And gosh, I'm in like a terrible place with this, as I'm sure everybody is. It's not my, it's not, I'm, I just have to say, I feel so overwhelmed and so sad. And I want to say that there's a lot of guilt inside of me and shame too. And I don't need to hear one more time why the United States can't get involved. I can do the math. 1 + 1 = 2. I understand. I get the nuclear bombs. I get all of that. But I don't know how you can be human and not struggle with this. And I feel like this is so above friggin' politics. And this is about being humane. And this is just the most barbaric thing I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, it's so horrifying. It puts life into perspective, doesn't it? So you guys, I have so much to tell you and share with you, and I want to share my screen with you. I'm sure you guys do share. There's so much love on my channel that I'm positive, and I have just chills. I'm positive you all feel just eaten up inside. I mean, my heart is in my stomach. This is my question. Okay, this is my paradoxical. This is the paradox that I'm living in. Okay, so this is what I want to share with you guys. So I did my ancestry.com, and I did this when my daughter was like 7 years old, and I found out. So this was like 7 years ago. I found out that there was this man by the name of William, and he immigrated into the United States from England. And he was really brave. I even got to see the ship that he sailed on. He brought his family, he brought his wife, his 2 children, and his housekeeper. And here's my existential crisis that I'm living in, okay? So I am an American citizen. I live in Seattle, Washington. My ancestors immigrated in the 1800s. So here's my question. This is where, like, I don't understand life. So maybe you guys can help me with this. So because this man, William Ney, traveled the seas to get here and immigrated to Ontario, Canada, and then eventually down to Chicago, Illinois. And then I was my 4th great-grandparent. And then my grandparent was born in the United States. And then, or my great-grandparent was, then my grandparent, then my parent, and then me. So because this guy sailed on a ship and brought my ancestry, basically my DNA, the sperm and the egg that would eventually follow, to the United States, I get all these privileges and I get this life, and I get to sleep on a silk pillowcase and drink a latte. And I don't have to, and this whole country can be sacrificed, and I'm supposed to be okay with just looking away. And we're playing a game of Risk, and we're going to give up an entire friggin' country. So we don't have a nuclear weapon here. Okay, I can do the math. I understand. I get it. I'm not promoting war, and I'm not promoting to go in and have a nuclear war with Russia. I'm not. But I am in such deep, tormented conflict that because this guy traveled on a ship, I get to sit in this comfy house with heat, and they don't. And I'm not better than them in any way, shape, or form, and I can't deal with it. I just literally am like almost hysterical about it in my normal life. And so I wanted to go look at the astrology, and thank you so much. I just appreciate all your love. But it's not fair. It's not fair. And like, thank God for that man who did sail the sea. I'm not trying to be condescending. I mean, look what he did. He uprooted his whole life. And he was the second born. the firstborn stayed there, and there's all these English people over there. But my family's tree branched off into America. And so now I'm really not going to help, uh, or what little help I can do. I did donate a couple $100, but who cares? What's $200 even going to do? It's nothing. I wish I was a millionaire. I wish I could give them millions. I actually told my husband, if I wasn't married and if I didn't have a 15-year-old and if I had a little extra money in my bank account, I honestly would go over there. I really would. That's the type of person I am. I would. I might not. I don't know how to use a gun very well. You probably wouldn't want me to, but I would go to the border and I would take a family in, and I would do that right now if they could get to Seattle. So with that is the catalyst for why I'm here tonight. And I want to share my screen with you. I pray that I can do it. Okay, you guys. So who do you want to start with? Because I've got so much to share with you, and I might not be able to do the whole thing tonight. But I want to share with you. So let's go in. Okay. And thank you for all your love. Every dollar counts, Meredith. I hope. I don't know, but I hope. It feels really minimal. I'm going to just share my screen with you guys. So, oops. Okay, so what she said is I have to minimize this. So it's going to be a little bit hard for me to read your chats. So, how do I read their chats? I can too, but I'm not going to be able to see the chats really, really well. Okay. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. All right. Thank you, Susie. I love you. I love you. Bye. God, you guys. Ah! Can you zoom in and increase the size under the settings? Hold on. Like this, but if I like this, we need to expand the chart window. Yeah. I'm afraid if I do this, I don't know why this isn't. Oh, how about if I do this, you guys? Is that good? Can you read it? Can you see it? It's kind of small. Okay. Oops. Is it good? Can you see it? Can you see it? Oh, yeah, it's good. Okay, so you guys can see it. There it is. Okay. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you guys, let's start this out. The first thing I want to do is I want to show you Ukraine's chart. Is everybody, they can see it, but they can't read it. Share application, not screen if possible. So you guys can't see it. You can't really figure it out. Oh my God. Thank you, Susie. It doesn't let me share the application. Juan, I wish it did. It only lets me share my tab, my entire screen, or a window. Can you read it a little bit? You can't read it. Oh, you can. Okay, so some people can, some people can't. Well, I'll just have to tell you what's in it. So this is what I want to do. Does that help? Look, I can increase it. Oh. There. Can you see it now? Does it look good? Well, if you guys are on the phone, you're going to have to zoom in. So you probably might want to. Okay. So the phone, it's going to be really hard to see, but then rewatch this on the computer. But, Okay, so here's what I want to tell you. This is Ukraine's chart. Now, the very first thing I want to tell you guys is this. Okay, I love that. Hold on. I'm going to go look at this. Wait 1 second. Somebody gave me a great idea. Oh my gosh. Maybe Susie can edit the whole beginning of this. After. Susie, do you think you can edit all this stuff out here? Okay, so I'm going to look at your chats on my laptop, and then I'm going to make this even bigger. Hang on. You guys, this is my first one, so thank you for sticking with me. Okay, expand it more. I will, because I don't need to see me up there. How's that? Way better? Woohoo! Is that good? Are you guys happy? Woo! Okay, so maybe Susie can like take my intro and then take out all the technical difficulties out. I don't know if she can, and then she can start the whole show right here. Can you do that, Susie? Yay, Susie can do that for me. I love Susie. By the way, Susie's here tomorrow night, and she's going to talk a little bit. She's going to give, oh my God, don't miss her live. I think it's at 4:30. Promote it here, Susie, and you can even leave the link if you want. But don't miss her live. It's going to be fantastic. And she is just giving so many readings and doing such a great job. She's helping me hold it all together. She's far more technical than I am with all her Virgo. Okay, this is the chart I really want you guys to see. The Ukraine independence happened August 24th, 1991 at 5:31 p.m. in Kyiv. And it's Capricorn rising. And when you have a Capricorn rising, you've got Saturn running your show. I mean, these guys are so strong and so highly capable. It's true. They are revolutionaries to the core of their bones because they've got Saturn at 1 degree Aquarius, the great revolutionaries running in the first house. What's the first house? It has an Aries Mars flavor to it. So we're talking stronger than strong. They also are liberators. With Uranus at 10 degrees right here on the rising sign. I mean, these people are like, let freedom ring. These are literally the English that came over and created the whole revolution, breaking away from England. I mean, that's repeating here. This whole chart is about a revolution. And so I found this to be just fascinating. Also with 0 degrees Virgo in the 8th house, these people are used to having to fight for what they want. They're so brilliant, and they actually are. 0 degrees Virgo is massively intelligent, but it's in the 8th house of death, loss, and destruction. So their freedom comes with a lot of losses, and it comes with a lot of destruction and devastation. When you have an 8th house sun and a Mars in the 8th house and Pallas, this is Pallas Athena. Did you guys watch Connie Joe's Pallas Athena video? If not, please, please go watch that. Pallas is the strategic, it's the strategist in your chart. And this is literally strategic warfare in the 8th house, willing to die for a cause with Uranus on the ascendant, and Neptune. We believe in Neptunian things. What's that? Our dreams. So I'm reading your comments here. Feel free to put some comments as I talk. But what I want to say is, with this stellium in Leo, this has so much power in it. It is so hard to take down Leo and Capricorn. So it is so true that they are strong, but they are tremendously outnumbered. I want to show you really quickly Russia's birth chart, and I did it for 1991 when the Soviet Union collapsed and Russia was born. So there's about 20 different charts for Russia, but I chose to go with this one. And I think this one is, I mean, it feels right to me. I find it interesting that Ukraine has the 0 degree. Listen to me. Listen to me. This gives me hope, and then I'm going to dash all my hope away in a minute. So this is the hopeful part. Listen to this. Ukraine is a 0 degree Virgo sun country, and Moscow, Russia, in 1991 is a 1 degree Virgo moon. Okay. So what does that mean? In synastry, watch this. And I have a crazy biwheel. I'm going to put the Ukraine chart here with Russia's chart. Oh, okay. This isn't going to be, okay. I have another chart that is really dark. I'll show it to you later. Look at this. Russia's moon is on Ukraine's sun. What is stronger, the sun or the moon? Somebody tell me. What is stronger? It's the sun. The moon cannot eclipse the sun. It can't. Meaning what I mean by that, I'm not saying we can't have a lunar eclipse. What I'm saying is that the sun has the light, is the true light. The moon has no light to it. It is just the reflection of the sun. So whenever you have a sun moon combination like that in a new moon, the sun bosses the moon. And Putin doesn't like that. I'm going to give you guys the transits, and I'm going to give you the dangerous days, and I'm going to tell you about Zelensky's life in just a minute. I'm also going to tell you about Putin's life. I think the game is over for Putin, but it's going to take a little while for it to play out. But I'm going to show you. Now, I want to remind you guys that I predicted the coronavirus. I predicted the presidential winner, Joe Biden. I predicted the last 5 states it would come down to, which was no small thing. And I don't know if I'm going to be bold enough to make a prediction here, but I can see some themes. And when I see themes more than 3 times, I usually feel fairly confident in my prediction. One of the things that I find very fascinating here is that this is a biwheel. So we've got Russia right here on the outside, and we have Ukraine on the inside. So this is, how does Russia affect, Ukraine? So one of the things I want to say is that we've got the North Node on Ukraine's ascendant and on their Uranus. And honestly, they would be better off if the Russian people would actually be better off if they let Ukraine have their independence. The problem is, and Putin knows this, is once the Russian families that have Ukraine families or Russian families in Ukraine got a taste of democracy, they would want that too. But them separating from Russia is actually in Russia's better interest. They don't feel that though. Okay, so let's look at this really quickly. I want to show you Putin's chart. Isn't this beautiful? By the way, if you guys are a super supporter, your chart will look something like this. And I mean, isn't it gorgeous? I love my charts. So here's what I want to say. I have Putin born on October 7th, 1952 at 9:30 a.m. in St. Petersburg, Russia. It's not the greatest, like nobody really knows his birth time, but I think this chart is pretty accurate. But we only get we get a double D rating. So it's kind of like thumbs down rating, meaning we're not positive that it's accurate, but I think it is, and I'll tell you why. Because of the placement of Pluto, and we're going to talk about this. With Pluto right here on the midhaven. This is the midhaven. This is the highest point in the chart. This shows me his public persona. What is his public persona? Leo and Pluto. Yeah. Leo is the king, and he has made himself the monarchy, the king, the royal. And Pluto is, well, it's a lot of things, but it can be the great transformer, but it can also be the KGB president or assassin. It can also be everything Scorpio. It can be powerful and intimidating. And so we've got a very ruthless leader. And in the demise of, or if in the shadow side of Leo, Pluto in the 10th, that is sort of, that is that is so much narcissism and so much power that it's powerful narcissism gone wrong to sociopathy or psychopathy. Okay, let's keep going. I'm reading your comments over here. The other really frightening thing about this disgusting monster is Pluto is conjunct the South Node. This man in his past life, I believe in past lives. I'm an evolutionary astrologer. If you don't, you can just see it as earlier in this lifetime, literally had no, he had Plutonian problems. The South Node is your baggage. It's where you're short-sighted. It's where you will sabotage your own self. It's the energy in which you came from. And with the South Node on Pluto, it's very, very, it can be when it is ill-informed, not well-developed, especially in Leo, it can become so arrogant, it literally turns into a public killer. So Pluto and the South Node in Leo can literally kill in public. The 10th house is what do you do in public? I have Venus up there, so I cannot relate to this guy at all. The other thing that I want to tell you is that he's got this Neptune Mercury. Now, Neptune and Mercury can be absolutely stunningly gorgeous. And Neptune and Mercury in Libra can be beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But it's in the 12th house. So I don't love that. I don't really love any of those planets in the 12th house. So this can be sneaky. This can be deceitful. This can be massive bullshitter. And this can be literally how I see Mercury conjunct Neptune in Libra, charming Libra in the 12th house when it's undeveloped. I see it as the snake charmer. And he's very good at it because it sits in positive aspect to this bullshit. Sorry. With his Mercury in the 12th house and right there on the ascendant, he's a very, very deep thinker, and he has a really high concentration level because Saturn is there. So he is a strategic thinker. If you guys really want to understand how brilliant Mercury in Libra is, go watch my Libra playlist and go watch my most intelligent signs video. Libra is so, I don't know why they're underestimated when it comes to intelligence. They are some of the most brilliant minds in the world. They really are. With Saturn on his soul, he can be quite cold and unfeeling. Also, with this Libra aspect, it makes language and strategy like so prominent and powerful, especially because, he's got his Mercury in almost a perfect sextile to Pluto. So the way if you ever watch him shake hands, he like literally scorpionic stares you. stares you down. And that is because when Mercury and Pluto work together, they become scorpionic. Look at this. I want you guys to look at this Mars. This Mars in almost a tight trine to Pluto. So Mars is the god of war and Pluto is death. So he has massive, massive power. And when you're working with Leo and then Sagittarius, I'm going to tell you there's a secret sauce to that. Whatever two planets are involved, this person plays to win and refuses to lose, because Leos don't lose, and Sagittarius and Mars, they will fight to the death. Mars, fight to the death. That's Mars. For what? Sagittarius, their beliefs. Yeah. So Mars in Sagittarius is an extraordinarily strong person. It's also somebody who's highly athletic. And here he is riding his horse, bare chested and playing hockey. Haley, you're so cute. So I want to tell you something else though, because this Mars in Sagittarius is in this trine to Pluto. Pluto is the 10th house. You guys know, if you're on my channel, that the 10th house is Beethoven's house, and it is where you leave your mark on the world, and it is your legacy. And so I think he's going to leave a brutal Mars in Sagittarius undeveloped. Now, if you have Mars in Sagittarius, don't feel bad about yourself. Just do something great with it. But he's going to do something brutal, right? To be remembered. Now, look at this. This Jupiter, his belief system, Jupiter is your belief system, your personal truth. And it's retrograde in Taurus, but it is square. It's square to his south node, his baggage, his past life. It's square to Pluto, and it is not in good aspect. It's in a quincunx to Mars. So, but I really want to say that his beliefs over here are really being challenged. But what this tells me, when you have a Jupiter-Pluto square, that his beliefs right here and his power are in conflict with one another. And when it goes bad, it goes into sociopathy, because you get so caught up in your power being thwarted. That's the negative aspect to around your belief system. Now, you guys know, if you've watched my Taurus videos, especially my Taurus rising video, that Taurus is about possession. And when Taurus is deeply involved, they own you. And so he has a desire to own what? Seventh house issues, to own relationships, to own people. And he becomes very possessive. So his people, he owns his people. And what does it do? It gives him power. What kind of power? Not good power, because it's conjunct the south node. So it's an abuse of power to his own people. And it creates a psychopathy in him, because it's so underdeveloped. Now we're going to talk about his transits. Okay. Are you guys still with me? You can leave me a comment. So let's do this bi-wheel, and let's see if I can do this for you. Dun, dun, dun. Look at this chart. I did it in black just so it'd be a little bit easy. Now let me go back. Let me go back a little bit for you. So between February 16th, oh my gosh, and I think they invaded on what day? Will somebody put it in? I think it was the 24th or 25th. What day did did Putin invade Ukraine? Was it the 24th or was it the 25th? I hope one of you knows that. Okay, I'm hoping you guys can see this chart. Let me know if you can. But this is what I want to show you. So between February 16th and March 6th, and it's exact on February 25th. Now, exact doesn't mean that the energy happens always on that day when the transit is exact. It just means that's when the transit has that most power, but we will still feel it before and after. So between February 16th and March 6th, let's go look at Saturn. Here is Saturn at 17 degrees Aquarius on February 16th. Do you guys see this? Now watch. And look at that. It's in perfect trine to his Saturn in the 12th house in Libra. So he has a Saturn trine Saturn. If you can't read it, you can come over here and look. Where's my Saturn? Saturn trine Saturn. Right here. Saturn trine Saturn. What does that mean? Well, that's giving him a boost of power because it's in happy aspect. It's giving him, honestly, a false sense of confidence. He also has this aspect, Saturn on his north node. He actually thinks and believes he has a right to invade. He has the moon on Pluto. So he has extraordinarily deep feelings around the demise of something of these people. And he has an emotional investment to get more power publicly. And so he has this arrogance and this confidence that he's going to get what he wants. And he's doing it for this north node, my higher self, my better self, my personal power in the public's eye. Okay, Russia began its invasion of Ukraine on February 24th. So this is exact. This 17 degrees is exact. It goes 1727, and his Saturn is 1727 on the 25th of February, and he invaded on the 24th. Astrology does not lie. He actually believed his army was strong enough to take it. And I think he thought he was going to walk in there and take it like maybe like Crimea with a little pushback, but not much. And it didn't happen. So I think he's shell shocked. Now I want to show you guys, I want to go forward and I want to show you, well, let me do this. March 8th. So right here on March 8th, today is the 10th. He literally has this Saturn now has crossed the north node, but I want to go here and I want to tell you I think this is actually like today. Hold on. Hold on. So this is going to last for a little while, but around March 7th, maybe 6th, I'm trying to find the exact. With Mercury there too. Here's March 2nd. Okay, so with Mercury, that's your mind. And these are the transits and Saturn on his north node. This guy is using communication and information, right? With this Saturn, with this kind of brute Saturnian force, authoritarian force. And it's sitting right here on his north node. But look at this, what he didn't expect. he didn't expect this to not go well with his personal beliefs. He actually thought that everybody was kind of probably in his own country on the same page as him. So, and I think that's because the people around him just blow so much smoke up his ass that he didn't realize how many enemies he actually for real has, because as everybody says in the news, he's so insulated. So right here, all of this Mercury Saturn is going well with his sun, with his own power, his own rules and regulations, even his own mind, but it's in conflict with the beliefs, with his own how do I say this, with it's in square to his Jupiter. So he overestimated all the yes men and women in his country, confused him literally. Now, this is very interesting. Saturn is on his north node, but Saturn and Mercury are also working against him because they oppose Pluto. So they take power away from him rather than giving him power. And Saturn is at the lowest point in his chart. So he's getting demoted, not promoted. If you remember anything at all from this aspect, when Saturn sits at that low point in your chart, you're usually going a little bit into a demotion. You have to work harder to get your promotion. Saturn's not up here in the glory of his chart, no. And it's conflicted with Jupiter. So he got mixed messages here. Does this make sense? I have a question. Should the transit location on the chart be in Russian? Yes, it actually should be. That's fantastic. And I do have it in Seattle. But for the purposes of this, I'm just going to go with it. The dates, the hours will probably shift a little bit, but the dates are still going to be the same. So I could be off by a day because they're like 12 hours from Seattle. Such a great question from Lisa Roman. Okay, now I want to show you guys something else. What happens between about March 2nd and March 18th with this Saturn, Jupiter aspect is Putin gets insecure. So Saturn makes you insecure. It makes you doubt yourself, and Jupiter makes you overly confident or confident. And so because his confident planet right here is in hard aspect to the Saturn Mercury transit, he actually starts to doubt himself right about now when this turns to 19. So around March 5th, he starts getting insecure, and he starts getting more and more and more frustrated. And this is what we're still in right now. We're still in this. And we can see that he is getting more frustrated, and he is getting more insecure. And I think that's why we're seeing the increased pain and agony and suffering. And he's going to get even more insecure. I mean, it's going to happen because look at this. Saturn now by the 13th, today's the 10th, by the 13th, it's coming within 2 degrees of opposing Pluto. Hold on. And I also want to show you that Uranus is coming up right here. Okay, Uranus on between March 4th and April 15th, this Uranus is opposing his Venus. So what's happening when Uranus is opposing Venus? Uranus is the breakup. And what is Venus? Love. People are falling out of love with him. And why do I say people? Because this is his relationship house. So when Uranus is over here, right there, March 12th, it's happening right now, March 11th, March 10th, March 9th. Do you see how it's opposing his Venus in Scorpio? Oh, March 7th, people have fallen out of love with him and he can't believe it. And Mars and Sagittarius, ooh, and Leo, ooh, they don't like. They don't like. So this has been happening. Look at all the way back here, this Uranus. I mean, people have been falling out of love with him for a long, long time. Right here, he can't stand it. And it makes him what? It makes him insecure because Saturn is creeping up on Jupiter. So Saturn is putting Jupiter's light out and telling him he's not all that, even though his Saturn trine Saturn told him he was. Wow. And his Saturn is opposing Pluto, coming right up. I'll just show you. Coming right up. Here we are, March 13th. It starts. Saturn opposing Pluto is so scary. Let me see what you guys are saying to me. I wonder, Ezra says, I wonder what his own soul thinks of him. Your soul and your personality are different things. Okay, you guys are really wonderful. Yes, Susie says he's really running low on allies. Yeah, when, China and who else? Belarus are your only friends. You guys, his chart is such a mess. It's terrible. I'm going to tell you, Saturn is opposing his MC right here. 21 degrees Leo, 21 degrees Aquarius is the IC. When Saturn opposes your MC, your clout, your reign, your Leo royalty collapses. So what's going to happen? It's any time now, March 13th. We're even feeling it right now. It's already happening, but it goes exact. Now, don't always count on the transit when it's exact because it can happen a little before and a little after, but it's around this time. But when it hits that 21 degrees, it's exact. So let's look at it. I think it is on March 22nd, I think. There it is. There it is. And as my sweet friend pointed out, this is Seattle, Washington. So we got to push it forward 12 hours because I think they are 12. Is it 12 hours? Somebody tell me, is it Seattle to Moscow? I think it's 12 hours. But around this time, Saturn is opposing his MC and it's within 1 degree of Pluto. So when Saturn opposes Pluto, we have the two strongest planets against each other. And when Saturn is the transiting planet, it's representing the external rules and regulations. And it happens to be in Aquarius, which is humanity, which is independence and freedom, because that's what Aquarius stands for. So I don't think the world will be able to do absolutely nothing by this time. This is also a death transit. I don't know if anybody can go find him in his bunker, but this is not good. It is very hard to survive a Saturn-Pluto transit. And it's very hard to survive. Now, I'm not saying if you have a Saturn-Pluto transit, it's not like you're going to die, but it it is a death of your power. And because it's in the 10th house, and because the 10th house is the public, this is the death in the public's eye at the very least. Because it's on his south node, this is his karma. And because you guys, the IC and the MC are the major artery in the astrology chart. So is the ascendant and the descendant, the IC and the MC. Those are the four highways. Those are the four major highways. We call them the angles. And when you have Pluto or Saturn or Mars on an angle, so that's the first house, the fourth house, the seventh house, or the 10th house cusp. This is so massive. And now we have the two malefic planets in the public and in the personal. I mean, this guy could, like, I don't know, take his own self out. Let's pray. Moscow is 11 hours ahead. Okay, so oh, Susie's wonderful. She says, I'm not comfortable sharing my hit about him, but I don't think we will see him able to have the power for global destruction. Don't waste your anxiety on that. Okay, well, thank you, Susie. I love you. Okay, so I just want to tell you that this is like March 23rd, around the end of March, but it goes till April 14th because Saturn stays still for a little while. And I want to tell you another little secret thing, okay? I haven't found, by the way, I haven't watched any videos. I have not watched one video on astrologically on Putin, on President Zelensky. I haven't watched it on the Ukraine war. This is 1000% my own opinion. And I'm not always right. But I do think I'm insightful, but I'm not always right. I want to tell you, you guys all know, because anybody who has had a Saturn return knows that Saturn goes forward, retrogrades, goes forward, retrogrades, goes forward, retrogrades, and most often hits the same point 3 times. Now, if you're lucky, you're one of those people that only get the Saturn return hit once, but most people experience Saturn crossing over, going back and forth in retrograde 3 times. And guess what? Putin gets this aspect 3 times. So I'll give you the dates. The dates are between March 22nd and April 14th. So if he's not completely destroyed by his own self, by others, or by the world, then I'll be shocked. He's going to have a setback. He is going to, now that doesn't mean he won't escalate in other ways, like have a temper tantrum, have a public temper tantrum. We might see that, but he is going to have his power destroyed within that time frame. Then it happens again on, hold on. So it's March 22nd to April 14th. And then Saturn opposes Pluto. Let's just look at that. I think it's on April 1st. Let's just go look. I know I'm a little clumsy with all of this, but I've never shared my screen before on a live. And Susie is modernizing me. Yay! Okay, here it is, April 2nd. Yeah. So I actually think it's on April Fool's Day. Let's see. There it is. Saturn opposing Pluto. And guess what he gets? He gets the company of Mars. What is Mars? The god of war. So the planets that, when they show their shadow side in the most horrific, barbaric ways, are Pluto, Mars, and Saturn. Uranus can do it too, but this is horrifying. Look at how Saturn and Mars are straddling the IC. Like, you guys, this is the most tenable, this is the most like prominent place in the chart to be straddling that artery, opposing Pluto in the south node, like that is karma. That is such karma. So we might have to hold on a little bit. I don't know. We're going to look at Ukraine's chart. I don't know if they can withstand it. I pray they can. They have a pretty amazing chart. But like all of this is in conflict with the public's north node, like the world's best and highest self. This is all in conflict. So the whole world will be feeling this. And I'm not joking. The entire world, he has brought the whole world into his demise. You guys are all so sweet. Yeah, I think it might be 13 hours. I'm not sure. I thought it was 12, but okay. I just wanted to say that this is going to retrograde back and forth. And I know I wrote it down. I wrote it down. Oh, here it is. Okay. So Saturn is going to oppose that Pluto, and that's a death transit, especially with Mars there. That's a war. Now, I don't know. I'm not predicting flat out that this is going to take them out, but very few people can survive this when you are a sick monster. I mean, it's not like he's coming from his highest best self. This is very, very karmic. And I'll just tell you, it's like game over. His game is over by this time. What that means and how does it play out, like literally and logistically, I don't know. But if this was somebody that I loved, if this was a truly great person, I would be frightened to death. And this isn't somebody that I even remotely can stand. And I'm not frightened. I feel like this is his karmic contract in life because it's dealing with the nodes. The nodes are your fate and your destiny. So I want to tell you that this is going to happen because Saturn's going to RX. It's going to retrograde. That's RX. April 1st through May 8th or 9th. Then it's going to happen again July 1st through August 3rd because it's going to retrograde back. So it's going to go forward, then it's going to retrograde back. And then it's also going to happen again January 3rd through the 21st of 2023. So you guys, it might not happen where he's gonzo, on this first one. God forbid. I don't even want him around by next January. It feels like it's too long. But it may take him that long to really completely crumble, to completely have his people maybe rise up and overtake him, or have somebody, remove him or take him out or leave the earth. Ezra says, sorry, my cosmic way of asking questions, but I wonder why he's so blind and what happened to him become like this, his soul. He got too much power. And, the 12th house, it's a great question. The 12th house, when it's not working properly, is the house of delusions and illusions and madness. There's a real, mental illness that can be the shadow side of the 12th house. Now, if you have planets in the 12th house, please don't go exactly there. But that is the shadow side to the 12th house. It's institutions, hospitalizations. It can be schizophrenia. It can be paranoid schizophrenics. And it can also just be secrecy and maybe something like he has a screw loose since he was in the KGB. I mean, I think he could easily kill. He has a chart that can easily kill with this Pluto Mars. And it's in with this powerful Jupiter that is so unhappy. His Jupiter, his beliefs are archaic beliefs that he has to basically lie Libra can be the great schmoozer, so can Pisces. That's the 12th house. So he has to lie to get his way. So he built his whole life and his whole existence and all of his power on a lie. So what happens when you are living the life of a complete fraud? He set himself up as royalty. And inside, I'll tell you, we'll go back to his chart in a minute. He's actually a really sensitive person. And when I say sensitive, I mean like get his feelings hurt. Of course, you would never see that. But he has a lot of water in his chart. Well, I should say not a lot of water in his chart, but he's Scorpio rising. He's got Venus in Scorpio, and he has an 8th house moon. And so this is a person who is deeply, deeply feeling, and he doesn't do relationships well because this Jupiter in Taurus is so hard, and Jupiter is your belief system, and it's in your house of relationships. And so he's had a lot of betrayal. Why is this in a hard placement? Because it's in conflict, constant conflict with his nodes. That's his karma, his fate, and his destiny, and Pluto, his public power. Why public? The 10th house is public. And it's also in conflict with Venus. And Venus is also what he values. It's his self-esteem, and it's his feminine relationships, and it's love. I think he's had fake love his whole life. I don't think he's really known love. So I just want to reiterate that this Saturn is going to oppose Pluto and his public persona, the midhaven, his career, and his legacy 3 times. And it's starting right now. Bad news is coming in for him March 22nd through April 14th. And it goes all the way till May 8th. This aspect sits here till May 8th. So this is going to take a little bit of time. And if he lives through all that, then it returns. I want you guys to mark your calendars down, July 1st through August 3rd. And then it actually comes back January 3rd through the 21st. Now I get to be on his kill list. And I loved what this guy said last night on the news. He said, so you speaking out against him, and building this website for sons that live in Ukraine and fathers that live in Russia and fathers that don't believe the Ukrainian sons' story. They don't believe it. They believe Putin instead. He said, the newscaster said, now you're on Putin's kill list. Are you frightened of that? Are you scared? And he goes, no. He says, sir, like with all due respect, we're all on Hitler. Oh my God, Freudian slip. We're all on Putin's hit list. We're all on Putin's kill list. That's his whole, agenda. So I guess he can add me to it. Susie says, Ukraine is over there with grandmas giving the soldiers sunflower seeds and telling them she'll enjoy watching sunflowers grow when they die. They are resilient. Yeah, we're going to look at their chart. But I just want to show you. Do you guys want me to go to Zelenski's chart? Let me just show you him. And let's call him President Zelensky. And let's call Putin or Hitler. Look at this chart. Tell me what you guys see. Tell me some things that stand out. There's something so gorgeous and so beautiful. There's quite a few things. But and by the way, I haven't done all this research. I'm doing this live. I wrote a couple notes, but I'm pulling this apart with you guys live. And I just want to show you a couple magnificent things. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you, both of these men, I believe, have out of bounds Mars. Yes, they do. So when you look for out of bounds planets, you got to look at the declinations, not the degrees. So if you buy one of my charts, it looks something like this. And you look at the declination. And so right here, his Mars is this is Putin. It is way out of bounds. What does that mean? It means out of bounds, god of war, out of bounds energy. means the big fight, the good fight. And when I say the good fight, meaning they will put up a good fight. So look at this. And it's very rare to have an out of bounds planet. Here's President Zelensky. He too has an out of bounds Mars. They both have out of bounds Mars. So it's very clashing. Let me see. My cousin, this is Danica. My cousin was killed by Russia in 2014 in Ukraine, and his dying words were, better to die a wolf than live the life of a dog. Wow. Oh my God. Just try that on. That's beautiful. I'm so sorry, Danica. I do see them like that. I'm going to show you Ukraine's chart. And I don't think I got to show you Russia's chart yet, did I? No. Okay, so what do you guys see that is so gorgeous in this chart? Somebody tell me, before I tell you, I want you to tell me what is like something so beautiful. And this chart is so different than Putin's chart. I can put them side by side, but then I'm afraid they're going to be too small for you to see. What do you guys see? Okay, good. Juan says, and Juan's coming to my master class. And Juan, I'm so excited to meet you. And tell me who all is coming to my master class, because you guys will learn so much. I'm actually going to teach you using Superstar Super Supporters charts how to read the chart in an advanced way. I'm going to give you my tips and techniques. It's going to be really, really, really amazing. If you want to learn how to read a chart, come to that class. So one says Jupiter on the first house. Yes. And not only is it in the first house, it's on the ascendant because it's within 10 degrees. Who else says Pablo? Yeah, the Leo moon. That just gave me chills. You guys are awesome. You guys get it. The Leo moon. Did you guys see my Leo moon video? I mean, my Leo moon video, I loved that video. I loved doing that video. I brought a lot of fun energy to it. I really recommend you guys watch the Leo moon video. It will make you really understand President Zelensky. You will understand who that man is so deeply. And when you see his Leo moon, you see it every night on the news, but when you watch that video, you will see who he is on the inside of himself. What else do you guys say? North Node in Libra. North Node in Libra is beautiful because, not just because it's North Node in Libra. And look at his North Node is conjunct Pluto, where Putin's South Node is conjunct Pluto. You guys, just that right there, we could spend 5 hours talking about. So what is his fate and his destiny? To grab his power. Yes. To take the power, to learn how to express the fifth house, stand on a stage, fifth house, in his power. He has to learn it. He wasn't born with it. Putin was born with a crown on his head. I don't know a damn thing about his birth or his parents or whatever. I know they're both dead. Not surprised. Scorpio rising. That's why I think that time is accurate. And I also think it's accurate because I think he has the South Node conjunct Pluto in the 10th house because he's a power abuser. That's Pluto undeveloped with the South Node. This guy's supposed to understand power and express it. And I love it. The Leo moon sextiles. You guys are good. I love you. The Leo moon sextiles Pluto. And I also find it interesting that Putin has a Gemini moon. And the Gemini moon is so highly intelligent and they are so smart. But if you watch my Gemini moon video, like, please go watch those videos because you'll really understand the cunning of Putin when you understand the Gemini moon. Now, not every Gemini moon is a cunning bad person, but they get detached from their parents at such an early age that their heart can become amputated from their primary love source. And with Scorpio rising, that happens too. And they live with a giant wound inside of them. And that Leo moon sextiles Pluto. Gigi says that, and the North Node. So this Leo moon is in sextile, because you guys know that fire loves air. So it sextiles this. This one's wide, but it works by sign. But it is his heart that actually gives him power. It's not his public persona where he put a crown on his head and said, I'm it. It's his heart. And I think we all feel that. And the fifth house is Leo's house naturally. And that is more love. So love leads this man's way. I wanted to share with you guys that Danica says, boo, I share that same moon sign with Putin. Well, just make sure you do your moon sign well, right? So he's undeveloped. It's a continuum. So imagine that undeveloped is 0 and highly developed is 100. Just don't land down here at the 0 mark where he's at. Do something extraordinary with your Gemini moon. It's hard because you have to learn love. And it's hard. So you have to watch my Gemini moon video if you haven't already, Danica, but there's pain there with it. So you have to do something great with that pain, right? Not inflict that wound onto other people. And we all have something challenging in our chart. I share 2 aspects with Putin, and I certainly am not him. I have Mercury conjunct Neptune, but I'm not a delusional, psychopathic freakazoid. I'm a dreamer. I don't have it in the 12th house, but I have that. And I have it in Scorpio, like he has it. But I use it differently than he does. It's like if you have a weapon, how are you going to use it? For good or for ill, right? So let's talk about this. This is what I love. First of all, I love the sun in the 9th house. I love the sun in the 9th house. This is an international person. This is a global citizen, and this is a double global citizen with his humanitarian Aquarius sun conjunct Venus, almost exact. How can you not love him? He's born attractive. He is born charming. He is born for the people. He is born for a revolution, Aquarius. He is born to be a global citizen. He calls himself a populist. Of course he is. He's in the 9th house with Aquarius. Oh, God. Neptune in Sagittarius, Gigi says, spiritual mission. I love the Neptune in his chart. And let me tell you about Neptune and why this is so interesting. And I love that she says that. Neptune is trine the moon. So if you guys watched my video, honey, can I have a refill? My husband's here pouring me my drinks tonight.
It would be my pleasure.
He's so cute. He's my Aquarian. Waiting on me, hand and foot. Not really, but kind of for this minute. Anyways, what was I telling you? Oh, did you guys watch my video, the 10 best aspects? And I think I did. I don't know if I did part 1, 2, and 3, but I did the 10. I have 3 of those videos, and then I did the 10 best aspects and Neptune moon. And it's just like, oh my God, this is so gorgeous. This is why the world is in love with this man. So with Jupiter rising, with a 9th house sun conjunct Venus, with Neptune moon, he is truly the quintessential good guy. I mean, that's who this guy is. He is literally Superman. And I'm in Captain America, and maybe not Batman. Just he just has a lightness to him. I learned that he in Russia, or in Ukraine, sorry, not in Russia, but I think he spoke Russian. I think this might be wrong, but he was born in a predominantly Russian community in the Ukraine. And I think he's born in a city where they predominantly speak Russian. I'm not positive if Russian was his first language. And we'll have to check my facts on this. So nobody beat me up if I'm wrong, because I didn't study his biography before I did this. And I'm doing this live with you. I haven't even looked at all these aspects. But he was the voice of the Paddington Bear in Russian, I believe, in Ukraine, but speaking in Russian, I believe. But like, how can you murder that guy? And he escaped 19 assassinations so far. Oh, your husband is so sweet. He really is. You guys are so cute. I love your laugh and your relationship to your Leo moon hubby. He put an ice cube in here so it would stay warm. Coley, I'm a Gemini moon, Libra rising too, LOL. Well, that's actually gorgeous. But he is not Libra rising. He's Scorpio rising. And Scorpio Gemini is hard. But I don't want you guys to be afraid if you share aspects. Remember, there's a continuum. But this chart is a gorgeous chart. With that moon trine Neptune, that's one of my favorite things. I'll show it to you. Neptune at 17, Sagittarius, and the moon at 17, Leo, in the third house and the sixth house. That's a perfect communicator, by the way. When the third house, the moon in the third house, and it's so funny. I have my Mars and my moon this far apart. I have it 22 degrees apart, and I have them both in the third house, like Zelensky. I know this aspect so well. I'm telling you, this man cannot sit down. He can't. He probably can only sit down to do a video or a tape. This is somebody who is so emotionally charged. Their action, every action they take has an emotional passion in it. I have that aspect. And but this is my favorite aspect, this Neptune moon. And it is a spiritual Shakespeare, because the third house is the house of learning, communication, and languages. I bet you this guy speaks like 5 languages. I'm shocked at how great his English is. I think Russian, German, English. How many languages does he speak? I have my sun in the 9th house in Aquarius. Yeah, 9th house Aquarius is ninth house Aquarius is with Venus there too, are here to save the world. I find it a little bit sad that he's born under a full moon. Look, full moon. And my husband has this aspect. He has a Leo moon and he's in Aquarius. And there's a little bit of pain in there. There's suffering. And it's like a Leo moon, Aquarius sun, they never really know, nor do they want, nor do they really care. I should say, of how deeply loved they actually are. There's a humility in that. They really don't know how deeply loved they are. With Jupiter in Gemini, this man is a master communicator. The reason why he was an actor or a comedian is because he's actually a brilliant communicator. Like, absolutely astounding. He doesn't have the issues, the scorpionic issues that Putin does. Let's just go look at his Saturn. So his Saturn opposes his MC. Isn't it funny that this is the MC in his chart and Putin's MC was like that? So his Saturn opposes his midheaven. So what does that say? He's kind of insecure about his place in the world. And his 10th house, ruled by Aquarius, is the dispositor of that house. The ruler of this house is Saturn at the bottom of the chart. So he came in with humility, not with regal or with a lot of regalness or confidence. I will tell you though, with Jupiter rising, there is a confidence, but it's a confidence around Gemini things, learning, education. He was a lawyer. He got a law degree. Communication, languages, studying, talking, listening, learning, confident in Gemini things, but it's not confident necessarily in Leo things. His Leo is in opposition of his sun. So his Leo is the humble lion. Does this make sense? Are you guys listening to me? Okay. And you can ask me any questions you want. Now, let's do this. I want you guys to know that in 2019, he became president, and I wish to God the United States, God, I wish we had this. I wish we had a president, a great president like him that won by 73%. I mean, nobody didn't like him. 73%, that's crazy. I want to also tell you that the people who have this spiritual Shakespearean aspect, and if you think about Shakespeare, I think Shakespeare really was the most, gosh, like, I mean, Chaucer too, but Shakespeare is the greatest English writer in the world, probably to ever exist, in the sense of what he did with the language at that time. And like his sonnets and his poetry, and oh wow, what he did with English. And so I call this Neptune moon in the third house and the sixth, because it's the third and the sixth. Those are the communication houses. The sixth is Virgo. The third is naturally Gemini. I know he's got Sag there and Leo there, but those are the communication houses. So I call it spiritual Shakespeare. Well, William Shakespeare actually had that same aspect. Let me blow your mind for a minute. Are you ready? So did Keanu Reeves. Yeah. And he, I think, is a Pisces, but like, look how Kiana, I think the whole world would agree with me that Kiana is so humble and leads with so much love. You know who else? Ready for this one? I'm going to blow your mind. Winston Churchill. And he just gave Winston Churchill's speech to Parliament yesterday and got a standing ovation. Yeah. You don't have the voice of Paddington Bear, for no good reason. Somebody asked, what is the birth time for Putin? What did I put on here? 5:19. Oh, no. What was his? Let's go look. 9:30 a.m. And his birth time is contradictory. Zelensky's birth time is also, it has a better rating. Zelensky remembers what his mom told him. So I want to give you guys some transits. So listen to this. Between February 8th and March 11th, I want you guys to look at what happens to Zelensky. The Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury all sit in his 10th house. What happens to him? The Sun and Jupiter sit in his 10th house with Mercury. This man becomes the new king, but he earns it. He becomes it by transit, not because he created it in him. The public sees him as a Jupiter Sun person. What's that? That is royalty. That is regal. And it is humble because it is the king for the people. It's in Pisces. What is Pisces? Divine love, love for all living things. And then there's Mercury. His voice has been found. Yeah. Now, he has his Saturn right here in Aquarius. And I think Saturn was on his Sun when he got into the quid pro quo, and he got, like second day when he got elected. I think Saturn, it made him rise up and become his best mature self. Now, look at Venus on his Sun, and he's having a Venus return right now. So when Venus returns to your Venus, so Venus is returning to his natural place of Venus. What does this mean? This means beloved. And it's in the 9th house. What is the 9th house? It's Sagittarius. It's popularity. It's global. It's international. It's not just Ukrainians love him. The world. You will find the world in the 9th house. You also find the world in the 12th house and the 11th house. But the 9th house is international law, international affairs. And he has Mars on his Sun. He's a freaking badass right now. Mars, the god of war, is fueling his soul. This guy will die trying. We've got Pluto in the 8th. We don't like that. We don't like that. But thank God Pluto is not opposing Mars, but It is opposing, well, it is opposing Mars, but it's moving away from. So, like, no, I shouldn't say that. It's actually going to go to, it's actually, oh my gosh, I think I wrote that down. Holy moly. Oh my God. Okay, I don't even want to look at that. Pluto, Mars, March 28th, Mars is going to oppose Mars on March 28th. Hold on. Well, this is where it gets grim. So hold on 1 second. This already happened. So forgive me, I was talking too fast. So his Mars is at 0 degrees Leo, and on March 6th, just a couple days ago, it's probably when he was, it's probably during like the assassination attempt, Mars opposes his Mars. So that's in the 9th house. That is a death transit, and he has escaped death 19 times now. He won't leave his country. That's a Leo moon. So there are so many beautiful things about him, but his transits, there are great transits, and let's pray for these great transits. But there's really hard transits too. I love that he's rising up and he's becoming famous. I just don't want him to become a martyr like Martin Luther King. You know, it's not fair to the world. We need this man in the world. When the sun sits in the 10th house, and you guys can do this on your own transits and your own timing, that's when you shine the brightest. When the sun is in your 10th house, more so than the first house. When the sun is in the first house, you feel great about yourself. So when the sun is in the 7th house, you attract great partnerships. When the sun is in the 10th house, you stand in the public eye. So memorize the dates of when the sun hits your 10th house cusp. And that's when you shine. That's when you need to ask for a promotion. That's when you need to like get on stage for America's Got Talent. And you guys can ask me questions. Let me tell you this. So one of the hard aspects that happened not that long ago is back here when Saturn was at 17 degrees. And this started on the 17th. And it right here, Saturn opposing the moon. This happened on the 17th, and it goes all the way until the 28th of February. And we know he was invaded. And when Saturn opposes the moon, well, here it is, right here. So this was right before the invasion, but I think he had the intel on it. It's literal heartbreak. It's just heartbreaking. And it's heartbreaking in the house of learning something and beliefs and international affairs. And the reason why I think he had intel on it, even on the 20th, is because Mercury's in there. So this is heartbreak, and this is unbearable emotions, and a lot of emotional responsibility. So I also want to tell you that around this time, February 28th, that Mercury was squaring Uranus right here. So Mercury squaring Uranus. So this is receiving horrible news. And this is like unexpected, flee on your feet, quick change. This is like your whole life changes around information. You guys are cute. I love what you're saying. So then I want to share with you on March 9th, or about the 8th, right here, Mars is going to go into the 9th house. And that was just a couple days ago. So he's going to have to fight for his beliefs. Look at this 9th house, and he's going to stay in the public eye. So fighting for his beliefs, and with Venus return, doing it in a way where he is beloved and taking his job, Saturn, very seriously is huge. Then I want to show you guys this Mars opposed Mars is going to last for a while. It's a battle of wills, and we have to pray that he has enough external strength and internal strength. So the strength inside of him and the external strength are at odds. And I think this is him calling on NATO and NATO not showing up. And I don't know if he has enough personal power to sustain this. The other thing I want to say is the sun is quincunx Pluto. So let's look at that. So the sun right here at 18 is quincunx Pluto. And that's usually when you feel like your hands are tied. And so he's going through that right now. And that is happening on March 6th. So the sun, quincunx Pluto, 16 and 16. And so since, 4 days now, he just feels hamstrung. The Mars opposing Mars, it goes, God. Well, okay, so Gigi asks, how long is the Mars opposing Mars? Well, it's exact right here on March 6th. You can see that. But I count it 10 degrees before and 10 degrees after. So it's a long transit. It's going to go a while. I mean, it's probably going to go, let's see where it is in a month. Okay, it's gone in a month. So it's probably going to go 2 weeks. 2 more weeks. I hope he lives through it. This guy's got to live through this. On March 28th, this is such a hard time. I'm going to just show you this right here. We have to pray that he can stay alive. Oopsie, hold on. Mars opposes his moon. This is a day of heartbreak for him. This is going to be massive heartbreak. And now we have the sun conjunct Chiron. So there is something massively devastating by this time. Maybe, I don't know. It's terrible. Now, I want to give you guys something. Hold on. I also want to show you April 4th. I know it's bad news. It's not good. It's terrible. And this, I'm not crying right now because I'm talking about it. So I feel like I'm in a puzzle. But when I leave you, I'm probably going to completely fall apart again. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to tell you guys, if you do want to make a donation, I know it feels so small, but Susie, this is the organization Susie really loved and turned me on to. And tomorrow night, if you guys can go support her live, any super chats she gets, she's going to take them, she's going to match them, and she's going to send them into this organization. This is Bethany Frankel's. They are providing emergency assistance to people in crisis in Ukraine. And it is the Be Strong. So it's Bethany, BETHANY.com/B, the letter B, strong. So not BE, just the letter B, strong. And I have that as my very top chat. So just look up Bethany, BETHENNY, Be Strong. Be strong, all one word. Now, hold on. Oh my gosh, gotta find me. Okay, so I want to tell you guys another thing. So this is just like emotional defeat. And with Pluto creeping up on his sun, I mean, it's far, it's still far. That's too far to count just because with Pluto, we only give it 2 degrees, but it's creeping up. It's close. It's not good. That's terrible. So we have to pray that he's not damaged, that there's not going to be, chemical warfare damage done to him. By the way, with this, I was going to tell you guys, I do think there will be chemical warfare. Neptune rules water and the oceans and the Black Sea and nuclear submarines. And when Jupiter goes there, that's when I feel with that Neptune Jupiter conjunction, I feel that's going to warrant chemical warfare. And I'm really afraid of that in Pisces because that's all water. So, I live in Seattle and we're the largest nuclear, I guess we have the most nuclear weapons in the entire United States. I didn't know that. My husband told me that. But if they have a nuclear disruption or if they use chemicals, it will go into the water. It will be through the water in some way, and then that reaches the whole world. I'll look at Biden's chart, but I thought his chart looked pretty good. I haven't really studied it. This was a lot for me to look at, but I wanted to show you guys that. I wanted to show you April 4th. So I told myself to talk to you guys about April 4th. So we have got Mercury and the Sun and Chiron on his south node, not good, and it's opposing Pluto. So this is a very, very, very difficult time. And the Sun, right here, wait a minute, the Sun squares his Mercury. So for some reason, his voice, I don't know, and we know that he needs his voice and he needs his mind. But with Chiron there and Mercury and the Sun and Mercury, I am wondering about, and the South Node, what's happened to his voice here? Can we not hear him? Can we not reach him? Where did his voice go? So let's pray that he keeps his voice powerful and strong. And, it's in relatively good aspect to Neptune, Jupiter. So, and that's on his midheaven. So let's pray this supersedes this. This is very, very difficult. If he lives till April 4th, I am telling you, it is a miracle. It is a miracle if he lives till April 4th. So on April 6th, right here, the Sun opposes Pluto. I don't think he has a country because it's in the 11th house. So he may have lost all his friends. This is really, really sad. When the Sun opposes your Pluto, it is also a death transit. So he has a gun to his head, metaphorically, and we just have to pray to God that we can save him. Oh, okay. So Susie says, if you guys want to donate to the Be Strong, just come to her live tomorrow and give them to her as a super chat. Susie's so honest. She'll take your money, she's going to match it, and she's going to send it all in as a lump sum. And just so you guys know, I trust Susie with my life. Oops, my lip gloss fell. I trust Susie with my life. So if she says she'll do it, she'll do it. She never disappoints. Let me see something here for you guys. I wanted to do Putin's wheel with Ukraine. This is fascinating. So, and then I want to show you one last thing, okay, before we go. I was going to do Biden's chart too, but I don't know if I'll have time for that. I might have to do that independently. So Putin's on the inside and Ukraine's on the outside. What do you guys notice about this chart? What I want you to look for specifically are the negative or the complicated aspects that you see. So this is, how does Ukraine affect Putin? The reason why I'm using Putin and not Moscow's chart or Russia's chart is because the Russian people are, and we can look at that chart. I don't think I even looked at that chart. Did I, you guys? I don't even think I did that. Did I even show you Russia's chart? Gosh, I can't remember. But is because I don't see this war between Russia and Ukraine. I see this war between Putin and Ukraine. But tell me what you guys see. I want you guys to give me something that you see in here that is really difficult. How Putin affects Ukraine. Oh, sorry. This is how Ukraine affects Putin. Let me bump it up a little bit for you. How does Ukraine on the outside affect Putin's chart? I'm waiting for some of you guys to answer my question. What is one of the first things that you see that is so difficult? I know you guys know. I know you guys can see. There's almost 100 people watching. Yay! I know you guys can see a couple really, really hard things. I see it as Russia versus Putin also. Yeah. Nobody's going to answer me? Okay, you guys, there's like 3 things that stand out just to the naked eye. And if you can't read the circle, you can read this. And you know that the squares are hard. Look at the moons. Leo, moon. Hold on. Oh, this is Zelenski. This is okay. Hold on. I have to do it right. Hold on. I got the wrong thing up here. Hold on. This is the chart. Putin's in the middle. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so this is Putin. And on the outside is Ukraine. Look at the moon. Wait a minute. Yeah. Look at the moon of Putin. That's his heart, is in square aspect to Ukraine's soul. And where is Ukraine's soul and Venus and Mercury and Jupiter? All on his Pluto. Yeah. And so where else are they? In his 10th house. So they have their belief system, their communication, their values, their love, and their soul and their identity in his house of the public's eye. So Ukraine eclipses his position in the world. What does he bring? Plutonian nasty power. What do they bring? Love and communication and hope and beliefs. Oh my gosh. And the sun and the moon. So Putin's moon is in square aspect to Ukraine's sun, and the moon does not have a chance with the sun. The moon gets squashed by the sun all the time. I'm not saying the moon is not important or more important or good or whatever. It's just that when the sun and moon touch each other, the sun always dominates. Always, 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 always. And when it's in square aspect and Putin's moon is in the 8th house, it's in the house of death and loss and destruction. Yeah. And their sun is in his 10th house, the house of legacy. Ukraine will make a legacy for Putin. It's just going to be the death of him. And that's the truth. So Ukraine will emotionally kill him or take his heart. I find that really fascinating. And there's so many oppositions here. So Ukraine's moon is at 22 degrees Aquarius, opposing Putin's Pluto. He doesn't want them to even have a heartbeat. And guess where their heart is? In the house of home. Ukraine is our home. That's why he's trying to kill it. Now, Pluto in the moon always loses. So what did he do? Have you seen the frickin' place? There's no home to go to. He literally killed their home. And not only that, he killed mothers. This is the house of mother. And he killed their heritage, their legacy, their roots, their families. This is families. And he has Pluto opposing their moon in their house of home and legacy. This is horrifying. Horror. This is Amityville horror. This is literally what hell looks like. Just disgusting. I want to show you guys this one last thing. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to do Biden's chart, but I want to show you something that's a trick. I should have announced this at the beginning. This is the USA. I wanted to see the USA, like, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'll just do this real quick. Let me just see the USA. I want to do it differently, though. I want to do the bi-wheel on how the USA, see, the USA is, our sun is on the south node. And so we're reluctant to go in because there's baggage there. And we're afraid of bringing up our past life. And yet, look at, in order for them to heal, we have to rise up and be our best self in our Leo North node. Damn it. I don't know how we're going to help them, but we have to. And with our Neptune here, we have to be spiritual warriors and help them right here fight. We have to support them. Look at this. These are our sisters and brothers. Look at our moons, you guys. Look at this. This is shell-shocking. Shell-shocking. Are you guys not shell-shocked? Look at this. Our moons are the same. We have the same heart. I told you at the very beginning of this, this is like those rebels and revolutionaries that wanted to get out from underneath King George and broke away and got on a ship and sailed over here and colonized this country. Sadly, we took it away from Native Americans and treated them so poorly and did terrible, god-awful things to, enslave Native Americans and African Americans, and it's not right. Natives and Africans at that time, and then treated them horrifyingly. But we have the same heart, we have the same spirit, and we've got to do something about it. We're being very strategic. This is sixth house. We want to be perfect, so perfect that we're tiptoeing and it's paralyzing us, and we're not making decisions fast enough. Pluto and Saturn, with that conjunction, we could be a powerhouse in the first house. What I struggle with is if we can save them, why don't we save them? I know you're going to tell me nuclear war and all that and blah, 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 blah. And I don't want to hear it again because I can't deal with it all. I just can't deal with it. Okay, so let me show you a trick. I'm going to show you something really, really unique and very different, something that none of you have probably ever seen before. And this is called the Federia transits. Now, I want to tell you something. The Federia transits are so profound, so accurate, and so powerful. They show me how a decade of your life is going to go. And when you get a Jupiter Federia transit, it's the jackpot part of your life. I don't know exactly how it works. I just know it does work. And it shows you from Hellenistic astrology from 2000 years ago, the different lots, the different decades. So they're like decade transits. I am going to show you right now the Federia transits, and you are not going to believe this. So the first transit I'm going to show you is the Federia transit for Ukraine. And this Federia transit is massively powerful. So right now they're having a Mercury. Hold on. Oh, they're having a Venus. I have to go find the date. No, what are they having? It is on October 14th, 2020 until August 24th, 2022. They will be in a Mercury Venus aspect. And this August 24th, 2022, they move into a whole entire decade of a moon phase. So until August 24th, 2022, they're in a Mercury mind value or communication love aspect. And so I think the world will love them and try to rebuild them. So they're in a pretty positive, I know it sounds crazy because they're in the middle of a war, but yeah, and we're shutting them down with Russia. We're sending aid and we're shutting down Russia financially. Yeah. And Venus is money, but they're going to need money for sure. But what I want to tell you is that with the moon here on August 24th, 2022, for a whole decade, it's probably going to take them a whole entire decade to rebuild their families. And so that's really, really deep. Okay, now let me show you this. Let me show you Putin. He has a Mars Jupiter, I think. Yeah, Mars Jupiter. Look down here. So he's in a Mars decade. So he's been in a fight since 2015, which is true. And it's in October, last October. He's had this planned for a while, 2021 until October 2022. He's in a Mars Jupiter. So Jupiter is expansion and Mars is war. So I don't even know if he'll live this long. Maybe he will, but it's the expansion of war. If you guys think that he's not going to try to take Finland or these other countries, you are so wrong. And that's another reason why I really struggle with, like, if we don't stop this horrifying monster right now, what other, countries is he going to want to take? He wants world domination, and he really does. Mars, Jupiter. Jupiter is 13,300 times the size of Earth. Mars is war. So it's just ginormous war. So if he wins this, there will be another thing. And he's going to go really, 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 really big. Like, he is not going to stop. His ego is so massive, he's not going to stop. I don't know if I have time to do Biden's chart, but I wanted to show you guys this. Okay, now I wanted to show you Zelensky, President Zelensky. Let's call him that, because he is that. And Putin doesn't deserve that respect. So here we go with Zelensky. Look at him fighting for his life. He's in a Saturn-Mars aspect, you guys. That's war. So Saturn, Mars, and this starts on March 18th, 2021, and it goes all the way till October 13th, 2022. When you're in a Saturn Mars, you're lucky. When you're in a Saturn decade, you're lucky to live through it. He is going to have a very difficult time surviving this. Now, remember, I told you, when you have a Jupiter aspect, that's when you reach the pinnacle of your life. If he lives through it, he's got it coming up still in 2029. You only get one of those in your whole life. So let's keep this man alive so we can see the best days of his life are still ahead of him. And then I want to show you Russia, what's going to happen to Russia. And these Federia listings are so accurate. This is how I predict hard things in life, sometimes death. I can see death in these transits. So right here, here's Russia. They're in a Jupiter, Saturn. So massive repression. Saturn oppresses you, represses you, suppresses you. If you guys didn't watch my Saturn videos, please go watch all my Saturn videos. I have some lives, and then I have some Saturn videos on my channel, but Saturn is the great oppressor. And so it's massive oppression. I mean, these people are going to suffer so bad. And it starts on April 8th, 2022, which it's already happened. Remember, it happens a little before, a little after. And it goes all the way. I mean, a Mars decade is not easy either. These people are going to be fighting for their lives and their existence for a whole decade. And then did I want to do another one? Oh, do you want me to do Joe Biden? I don't know. Do I have him in here? Let's see. Joe Biden. Oh my gosh, November 20th. What's his birthday? November 20th. I gotta go look him up. November 20th, 1942. 8:30 a.m. Scranton. Pennsylvania. Let's look at him. He's right here. He's in a Sun Mars. So that's been since June. So he's trying to survive. The Sun Mars is a lot of vitality. He's probably the most, well, He has a lot of power and a lot of influence, even if it doesn't look like it. He doesn't have the persona to look like it, but he has so much power and so much vitality and influence. And if he can get through this after June 16th, look at this, he goes into a whole Venus decade. And so that's really beautiful. And a Venus, November 19th, 2022, that's really, really lovely. I mean, that's a lot of love. So maybe he really is. I know he's very vanilla. I know he's very like unremarkable, but it actually might be kind of what we need. You know, we don't need another like, radical crazy dude. What do you guys want me to do? Tell me with Biden's chart. Oh, and I do have the United States in here, USA. Let's look at ours. Okay. And you guys can put in the chats what you want me to do. Oh, good. Susie says, tomorrow we'll do a collective meditation to send healing to all those who are hurting from the war on Ukraine. That's beautiful, Susie. And if you guys can go to Susie's live tomorrow, it's at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, right, Susie? It's at 4:30. And just come back here and she's going to do a live. It's really beautiful, the work that she's doing on Friday nights. And Susie is a brilliant reader. If you guys want an astrology reading or a tarot reading, please don't hesitate to have Susie look at your chart. She's amazing. Let's look at our Federia. I love you guys. And tell me if you want me to look at something specific about all of this. I don't know. Sometimes it makes me feel better just being with you guys. Oh, I can't run the Federia transit on the USA because it only does 100 years. My computer software doesn't do 250 years. What do you guys want me to look at? Do you want me to look at Putin and Biden? Would you like that? Do you want to see what Biden does to Putin or what Putin does to Biden? What do you guys want? Let's see how Biden affects Putin until somebody talks to me. I've never looked at these two charts together. Well, Biden puts his Mars on Putin's Venus. Yeah, that's an entire show on its own. A Pluto return show. Well, we are definitely in our Pluto return. Jalen says, look at the 10th house and the 4th house. What in Biden's chart? Biden to Putin. Okay, well, this is how Biden affects Putin, and he puts his Mars almost directly on Putin's Venus. So, I mean, in a sexual relationship, that's wonderful. But in this kind of relationship, especially because it's in the 1st house, Biden's more powerful. I know it sounds crazy because all Putin has to do is push a button and we're done. But just as their two souls are, I think Putin is coming from the insecure position. And when Putin was with Trump, and we could look at that, that'd be fascinating. Putin felt like he had the upper hand. And I think that's why he got very confident. So Joe is not taking Joe is not taking Putin's bait. That's painful for me to watch too. I don't say that in a cocky way. I also think it's very interesting that they have a nodal axis opposition. So Biden has a north node in Leo and Putin has a south node in Leo. So Biden never saw himself as a king. He was born with a south node in Aquarius. He was born a true humanitarian, a public servant, and he really was. He was not born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He's born from Scranton, Pennsylvania. He lost his whole family in a car accident. He's definitely very both of them are Scorpio risings. Um, but Susie has to go to Betty Bye. We love you, Susie. Putin is a psychic. He miscalculates. He's blinded by his own light, Jalen. So I think he can be very intuitive and very psychic and see around corners, but now he can't see it all because his ego has gotten too big. But I find this very interesting that Joe's north node is on his Pluto in his south node. So Putin comes in with this Leo arrogance, and Joe needs to learn that he is, and his north node is wounded. So he probably will never get to know the regal, royal king, if you will, leader that he truly is. He will forever stay humble. What does Putin need to learn? Humility. Aquarius is very humble. We love you, Susie. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saving this live, Susie. Also, look at this, Uranus on the moon and Saturn on the moon. So it's like Joe is unpredictable for Putin. I think Trump was very predictable. They both had, Trump had his sun in Gemini and his moon in Sagittarius. So the moon opposition is very interesting. I don't want to talk about Trump, but I find that this is unpredictable. Putin can't figure Joe out. He can't figure him out, even though he's so vanilla, right? It's like, I think his calm is very shell-shocking to Putin. Let's see what else we have. Moon. Hold on. Moon oppose Sun. Well, that's because this is 27 degrees. Oh my God. The thing about Joe Biden is he comes with a lot of hidden power. You see him as that Sag rising, and he has he's like kind of, I think behind the scenes, he probably has a tremendous amount of power. Yeah, Putin is very strong, but he abuses his strength. And Joe has a quiet power. You can't have 4 planets in Scorpio and not be incredibly powerful. So we've got 4 planets in strategic Libra and 4 planets in Scorpio. So I don't think Putin's going to win. He's actually backed him into a corner. And yeah, I like what Zelentex says. I feel like Joe is always nonchalant until he feels challenged, and then he steps up his game. Biden is a rational person. He's a Scorpio. Yeah. But he's got Sag rising. And so he gives off like the chummy good guy, right? But with 4 planets in Scorpio inside of you, in your first house, I'm telling you guys, he has got cutthroat power. There's a strength about him, and he's born on a 29th degree Aquarius and Leo nodal axis. This guy knows what it means to lose, and he's built himself out of loss, devastation, divorce, and death. He's lived a war inside of himself. And if you know about his biography and his family, he's had a very tragic, sad life, and he's rebuilt himself through that tragedy. I find it really interesting that Joe is born not by degree, but by signs on a full moon. So there's more loss. He has that so much loss. The Sagittarius rising in him really saved him. I would love to do more on the different, like Biden and Zelensky and, Russia and the United States. And if you guys want me to do a part 2, leave me a comment in the comment section and just let me know, and I will. But I just want to tell you that this has been really lovely spending my evening with you. And I hope you guys are wonderful. And in your personal life, even though the world is just so sad right now, I do actually want you to know that when Jupiter and Neptune get together, I really do worry about the chemical warfare hitting our waters and our waters being polluted. Once that happens, the gloves are off. And I pray that doesn't happen. But with all this Pisces and with this Neptune, Jupiter and Pisces, and with Uranus square, I feel like that's a real possibility. So I do kind of want you to prepare yourself wherever you live in the world to be able to deal with crisis, and do what it takes. Saying that, I don't want to scare anybody, but I do think we'll be better off if we do prepare. I hope you guys found some interesting or fascinating or some solace in this. And from my house to yours, I just wish you the very best. I'm going to be doing my Capricorn moon series on Sunday. And then after that, I wanted to go into a little bit of a lighter side of astrology, just to be able to take a tiny bit of a breather. So I'm going to start a new series following Sunday. But in the meantime, I might do another spontaneous live. If you guys want me to look at more charts or something else, I will. Just let me know. Leave me a comment below. And I wish you the very best. Okay, take good care. Bye for now.